We are live. Hello to everybody in the chat. Hello, hello, hello. Good evening and welcome to another Country Mama Quickie. I'm getting all of the questions ready for our guest who is backstage, and I'm very happy that she's here. Wasn't sure she was going to make it because our guest has been in the middle of a very large move, life-changing things, and then she wasn't feeling well. So I had told her, I said, I won't schedule it. We'll plan it for another time because I know you're not feeling well. And she said, you know what? Let's go ahead and do it. And I said, all right, I'm game if you're game. So she's backstage for a quickie. If you're here joining us live, thank you so much. I'm glad that you've chosen to spend a little time with us tonight. And if you're watching this on a replay, thanks for catching us on the replay. I certainly do appreciate it. So just so that everybody knows, once we get started on the quickie, well, there's going to be two aspects to this tonight. While I'm involved in the quickie with our guest, who is Laura from Hedgehog Homestead, I won't be able to see what's happening in the chat. So don't think that I'm ignoring you. It's just that since it is a quickie, rapid fire, I pay attention over here, then I'll try to cut back over to the chat. Part two of that is, can you see I'm a little swollen today? My vision's a little blurry. My eyes feel a little swollen. So I don't know if it's allergies. I don't feel sick. So it's either allergies or I'm just tired. I have a little bit of a headache. So, and that happens sometimes. Some of you may know I've got a recent diagnosis of type 2 diabetes. Been really good on my sugars today. So I don't know if that's affecting it or not. But even if I'm done with the actual rapid fire quickie part with our guest tonight, I don't know if I'm even going to be able to read, but I do see a new chat came up. So let's see. You're late for very important date. No time to say hello, goodbye. You're late. So hello, Sarah. Welcome, Huga. Hello, Brenda. And welcome, Tim. I think I got that all right. Hello, everybody. And Lynette is here. So we're here for this new and exciting Country Mama Quickie with Laura from Hedgehog Homestead. Put your hands together. Let's bring her up. We're going to start with a little bit of foreplay, and then we will jump into our quickies. So everybody, applause in the chat. Hello, wifey, for Laura.
Hi.
Welcome. I'm so
I like
happy to
that.
see you.
I'm happy to see you guys, and I'm happy to see everybody in the chat. That's so awesome.
Yeah, we've got quite a few people popping in. Gwen just popped in.
Yep.
I think word's gotten around that Country Mama Quickies are fun, and people are saying
They
they're
are.
very happy to see you here tonight. I saw in
Thank
the
you.
comments, yeah, that they're just really happy to see you. So let's get started, and we're just going to jump right in and
Okay.
tell everybody, share with everybody 4 interesting facts. This is our foreplay. So the foreplay for a quickie, 4 interesting facts. It doesn't have to be about homesteading or anything like that, just
Okay.
4 interesting facts that people might not know about you.
Number one, I was born in Canada.
That's one.
I have jumped out of a plane.
Oh my gosh. Intentionally? Or somebody just like shoved you?
Intentionally. I love hiking. And I love all kinds of animals. I'm
Oh,
a
yes.
glutton for animals.
A glutton for animal
A
punishment.
glutton.
She kind of likes the animal style stuff there, guys.
Yeah,
Yes, it
yeah,
sounds
yeah.
naughty, but it's really a great way to have your fries at In-N-Out Burger. Did you guys have In-N-Out
Animal
Burger where you
style.
lived before?
Yes,
But you
yes.
don't
In
have
and
them in
out.
Tennessee, do you?
No,
Do you have Del
nope,
Taco?
nope. We
Oh, that's going to
have,
be so hard.
yeah, we have Taco John's,
Yeah,
and yeah, I know.
it's not the same.
Taco Bell.
It's not the same.
No,
For
no.
those of
I
you who
like I.
know Del Taco, you know it's not the same.
Right, right,
Oh,
exactly.
I mourn for you because to give up In-N-Out and Del Taco, that's a big slam right there to your moving. But I'm sure it's
Yeah.
all worth it in the end, and I can't wait to take some time and actually watch the video that you had shared with me that you just put up about showing your property. So I'm looking
Yep.
forward to seeing that because I'm admittedly behind on my videos, but I look forward to seeing those. So, hello, Danny. Welcome.
Hey,
And
Danny.
let's go ahead and we're going to start with our quickie. The clock is at 9:35. We're going to go to 9:45. Rapid fire as fast as we can. Answer,
Okay.
and then we'll move on to the next one. So, here we go. Are you ready?
Mm-hmm.
What is your current guilty pleasure?
Ice cream.
Oh, yum. What is your favorite day of the week?
Right now, every day, because I'm not working.
Any day that ends in Y, right?
Right.
Okay.
So,
What was your favorite childhood game?
my favorite childhood game, Uno.
Uno. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
What is your favorite thing to do on a rainy day?
Sit back and watch old movies,
Oh,
musicals, all kinds of fun stuff. Yeah.
yes, that sounds heavenly. What are you looking forward to most next week?
Well, we have so many good things coming up next week on our channel. And so I'm looking forward to my home coming to my land.
Your home coming to your land.
Mm-hmm.
We'll have to touch base on that.
Mm-hmm.
Laura, what's your favorite drink besides water?
Besides water, coffee.
And what's your favorite cake flavor?
Mm. My favorite cake is carrot cake.
Mmm, yeah, a good carrot cake.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Good carrot cake.
Mm-hmm.
What's your dream holiday?
My dream holiday
Like
is
expound on what your dream holiday would be, not just say, Christmas. What's your dream holiday?
my dream holiday would be Christmas in the woods on a mountaintop. It's
With beautiful
cozied in
falling
with hot
snow
chocolate. Mm-hmm.
and a fire,
Mm-hmm.
no electronics.
Nope.
Beautiful. You and I think a lot alike. Okay. Which of the seven dwarves best describe you?
Probably dopey.
He's so lovable, so I
I'm
will
I'm
agree
I'm
with
a little
that.
I'm a little bit forgetful sometimes, or kind of just when I'm happy, I'm just kind of do 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 do,
So you
just
could be a
going on
cross
my way.
between happy and dopey.
Yes, yes.
You could be Hopi.
Hopi. There we go.
If you went to outer space, what planet would you visit first?
Venus.
Okay. What is your worst habit that you'll never break?
Probably eating too much sugar.
That's a hard one. Boy, until you're
Mm-hmm.
faced to drop it. You
Mm-hmm.
don't you
Mm-hmm.
don't know until you're forced. Do you
Mm-hmm.
have a collection of any kind besides adorable chickens that are hand crocheted by some of your dearest YouTube friends?
A collection of any kind. I have a collection of boots.
Ooh, okay, Imelda. Um, if you had an extra hour each day, what would you do with it?
I would go for a long, just peaceful walk every day.
That's nice. I think you need to carve that out,
Yeah,
regardless of how many hours in a day. Now that you are where you are, I think you need to do that.
yeah.
Oh, this is a good one. I hope this one works out well because I've had this backfire a couple times. Laura, what is your favorite childhood memory?
Hmm. Riding my Shetland pony in my grandfather's horse ranch, and in by the Great Lakes in Killarney, in
Oh, that
Canada.
sounds neat. That sounds really
Hmm.
neat. I almost thought I couldn't tell if you were going to sneeze or if you got a little weepy there. I was like, oh no, I'm going to lose it right here. I'm going to lose this one again. If you could have one superpower, what would it be?
Oh, it would have to be flying. Yeah.
And that way, when you jumped out of the airplane, if something went wrong, you could still fly. If you were to give one book to your friend, besides the Bible, what would that book be?
Oh, probably Animal Farm.
An Old Farm. Okay.
Animal Farm.
Oh, Animal
Animal Farm.
Farm. I think I had a
Yeah.
little glitch for a second there. Okay.
Yeah. Yep.
Who is your favorite artist?
Oh, Van Gogh.
Okay. Who would you like to meet?
Oh, God.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, we're all going to one day, right?
Yep. Yep.
Ooh, we hope.
Yep.
If we play our cards right, and this is just really great that this is the next follow-up question after we're talking about being good enough, make sure we've got all of our ducks in a row to actually meet God one day. What's your favorite curse word?
Shit.
Sugar honey iced tea. Sugar honey iced tea.
Sorry. Yes.
What is the strangest thing that you know way too much about?
Poop.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just when it's a certain way, it means certain things, and
Right.
and
It's
when it
very
smells
true.
a certain way, it means a certain thing. And
That's true. Whether it's your kids or your fur babies or your birds, What was your favorite breakfast cereal when you were a kid?
honey bunches of O's.
Ooh, honey bunches of votes of votes of votes.
And before that, it was hot cereal, just hot oatmeal cereal with brown sugar. Yeah.
Lots of butter and then a crust of brown sugar on top. Yes. What kind of cheese would you be if you could be a cheese, Laura?
Ooh, Gouda.
That's a good answer.
I
What
like my
was
Gouda
your
cheese.
best purchase of 2021?
2021. Oh, that would be our land.
Okay,
Yep,
that
in
was
Tennessee.
a purchase. My goodness. What is the favorite thing you've done in the past 24 hours? Please don't go back to the poop question. Don't give
Nope.
an answer.
No. The favorite thing I've done in the last 24 hours is take a walk on our land.
Oh,
Yeah.
nice. I bet you that
Just
was wonderful.
Oh, yeah. It's beautiful. Sun shining and just hearing the birds. And yeah.
Oh, I'm so happy for you. What's the best
Yeah.
date you've ever been on?
The best date I've ever been on was with my husband. The date that he proposed, because I didn't know it was that he was going to propose. It was just a date. We're going to go out on a date. And he took me to a restaurant that looked over the area where we first met.
Oh,
And then he proposed to me. So,
oh, that's sweet.
yeah.
Did you say yes right away?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Let me think about it. Kind of break him over the coals a little bit.
Yeah.
And this is our last question, I think. We might be able to get, okay, I'm going to get two in here. Okay. What food always takes you back to your childhood?
Probably Coffee Crisp. It's a candy bar from Canada, and it tastes a little bit like coffee. And we weren't allowed to have coffee, but we were allowed to have Coffee Crisp, and I liked the taste of it. It was like,
Oh,
yeah, it's really,
skirting the
really yummy.
edges. Skirting the edges of what you were allowed to have. It's kind of like growing up. We weren't allowed to smoke, but if we could get the candy cigarettes, we felt
Oh,
like we were
yeah,
doing
yeah.
pretty good. And our last question, and this one might put you on the spot a little bit, but What's your favorite knock knock joke?
Do I know a knock knock joke? Oh,
I stumped you. I'm sorry.
you did stump me. I'm not a knock knock joke person.
I'll tell you a knock knock joke.
Okay, there we go.
Okay. Knock knock.
Who's there?
Interrupting cow.
Interrupting cow who?
Moo.
Uh,
So
funny.
that's it. That was painless.
Oh, that was so painless.
You did great. Well, some people are saying, "Oh, I'm so nervous." Like, don't be nervous. It's painless. We have a lot of fun. The questions are simple, and
Mm-hmm.
we learned some great things about you. So, to everybody in the chat who's jumped in ever since we started the quickie, welcome. I see Sandy and Lisa and Melissa and Gail and Jesse and Lisa. Tiny Tim Posey is here. So I've missed some of your answers as we were doing things, and Roberta's here. So we've had a lot of people pop in. Make sure you guys hit the thumbs up, and I'm so glad that you're here. So I want to know, what's the weather like down there where you're at in your new place in Tennessee, Laura?
Oh, it's going to be like 61 tomorrow. And it was like 54 today. But the week before that, or 3 days ago, it was snowing. So
Mother Nature's being a little
mm-hmm.
fickle right now. She
It's
just
being
does
a little
not know
fickle.
what she's doing.
Yeah.
She cannot make up her mind.
And it's a little funny here. It just a trace of snow and everything gets shut down. It's so funny. It's, yeah.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
Well, nobody knows how to drive in the snow down there, so they have to shut
No.
everything down.
Yes, this is true. This is very true.
Yeah.
So yeah, but we're loving it. You know, I mean, I don't have to work right now, so
You
it's
got
like
a
a
little
big
bit of
vacation.
respite. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
See, it was painless and fun getting to know you, says Laquita.
Mm-hmm.
And so Lazy Days Ahead wants to know, how are you loving Oregon or how are you loving Tennessee as opposed to Oregon?
Freedom. Lots of freedom here. Lots of, you don't have to wear a mask. You're not yelled at if you forget to put a mask on, even when you're
Were you really
approaching.
yelled at?
Oh yeah. Oh
Oh
yeah.
my
You'd be approaching a store in Oregon and they'd be yelling at you, put your mask on. Yeah.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
I can't even imagine I wouldn't even shop there then if that was the way they were going to
Right.
be.
Well, you wouldn't be able to shop anywhere. It was just the it was so you were so secluded in my lifestyle before this because I had a sick child that I was taking care of. I was at home all the time.
Mm-hmm.
And now I'm everywhere. Let's go hiking. Let's go for a walk, except for being sick for this short time. Um, we're halfway better and we're like, let's go hiking on the property. Let's go
It all sounds so
explore. So
refreshing.
it is.
And it's like
It's a,
you've turned a page and it's a whole
mm-hmm.
new chapter.
Yeah.
And the great thing about turning that page and going to a whole new chapter is you don't have to go back to the old chapter. You just
Yep.
keep going forward with this wonderful new life that you've got coming up. That is great.
Yep.
So let's see. Lisa says, yep, never leaving South Dakota. You sealed that deal, Laura.
Yep.
I think you're happy that you made this decision in your life.
We're extremely happy. And, it's been a challenge. It's been, expensive. It's been, a lot of hard work, selling our home, getting it all packed up, leaving family there, but meeting family here.
Mm-hmm.
It's been a huge change, but everybody's so nice here too. And people used to be nice in the Portland, Oregon area, but people have just gotten really sour and yelling at each other and, felt very unsafe. And we feel very safe here and, all of that. So we're excited about it.
It's kind of like when people ask us why we moved to Iowa, because it's
Mm-hmm.
so bitterly cold here and flat. There's no mountains, and
Mm-hmm.
people find it very boring here. And people would ask us, when we first, and they still ask us even after 8 years, why would you come here? And my answer is, I'd rather live where there's cold weather than live where there's cold hearts.
Yeah.
And that's 100% true. And it's the same thing here. People smile at you, people are
Mm-hmm.
friendly. I can honestly say, and I know you'll relate to this based on what you said about your experiences where you were. In 8 years, I've never been flipped off in 8 years.
Mm.
Where in California, it was a daily occurrence.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if you don't hit your accelerator and leave a light at a specific time, if you don't get out there in that intersection, people are flipping you off. If you slow
Right.
down for the yellow and stopped at a red, people are flipping you off. If
Right.
listen, if you're waiting for a pedestrian to get out of the road so you don't run over and kill them, people are flipping you off. And it just seemed like every day we were getting flipped off and yelled at, and you're like this the whole
Yeah.
time.
Yeah.
You don't look at
Exactly.
people, you don't interact with people because it was such an oppressive nature. And now it's like the blinders have been taken off. And
Mm-hmm.
I'm so happy to see that that's what you're experiencing too.
Yeah, you can look at people and they smile and they're respectful too. It's not,
Hmm.
yes, ma'am. Can I help you, ma'am? You know,
Right.
and um, you didn't get that. You were, if you were walking around Portland and you weren't, yeah, you get yelled at for all kinds of, I mean, I things changed there so dramatically that you, it was like, okay, I can't walk around anymore. I'm afraid to walk around and show like I have any privilege at all. You know what I
Hmm.
mean? And it's just really sad.
I think the
Um,
appropriate word is oppressive. It just has become so
yes, it
oppressive so
is.
quickly.
When we crossed the border into Idaho, I could feel the oppression just lifting off of me. And I was
Hmm.
just like, wow, this is,
I know that feeling.
yeah.
I used to come back here to visit my family, and then I would have to go back home to California, and I would feel that going back into California. And this was
Mhm.
before all of this current stuff. I mean, I'm talking
Mhm.
20 years ago.
Mhm.
20 years ago, I can remember as soon as I crossed back over the border into California, and no offense to anybody who happens to be in California or border California or has family in California, but I would feel that oppression the minute I crossed over the border. It's like all of a sudden people are just rude and there's trash everywhere. And,
Mhm.
people here in Iowa, they think I lived, Beverly Hills with the swimming pools and the palm trees. And that's not the
Mhm.
reality of it. So they can't understand why I like it here.
Right.
And I love it here. I know
No,
you're
no,
going
that's the
there.
that's the reality for the very rich in California. Not
Yeah.
even
And
the
even them,
semi-rich, the very rich. Yeah.
even the very rich in Beverly Hills, I hear now they're leaving their cars unlocked and their trunks open just so that people don't destroy their cars when they come to rob them.
Mhm.
And I thought, well, my goodness.
Yeah. Well, my daughter still lives in LA and my son does, and they choose to live there, and that's that they seem to be happy, I guess.
Yeah,
But
I've got two boys in California as well,
yeah.
and I don't think they'll be leaving. I think they'll be staying. So
Mhm.
Roberta says California drivers are crazy. I was in so many accidents there, none my fault. Same here. They were pretty, or two were pretty bad. One took me over a year of physical therapy just to relearn how to use my hands and
Oh, I'm
shrug my
sorry.
shoulders. Goodness, Roberta, that's crazy, crazy. And that's what Brenda just said. She said, Roberta, that's crazy.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah.
So,
Oregon drivers are okay. They're decent. Um, Here, where we live in, and I'll just say central Tennessee, um, people are pretty crazy drivers.
I've got a girlfriend that just moved to Tennessee in the last year, and she says the traffic drives her crazy.
Yeah.
And she's not in a main metropolitan area, but
Yeah.
still, she'll say, it's just crazy.
This
She goes,
town,
I didn't think there'd be so much.
this town's a military town. So you got lots of guys that like to drive really fast. And then you got lots of big people in big pickup trucks that like to go through red lights.
Mm.
And
Good night, Sandy.
so it's a little bit crazy. And then the infrastructure it's growing so quick here that it's not keeping up. So
That's what I've heard. I've heard that it is the infrastructure. They just can't keep
yeah,
ahead of it.
yeah.
So, does anybody in the chat have any questions for Laura? Um,
I'm pretty
it's
open.
she's an open book. She'll answer anything.
If it's way too personal, I might say no.
She'll say pass, pass. Now that you're in Tennessee, and I know you're going to be focusing a lot on getting your home, you said earlier your home's being delivered. Tell me a little bit about that.
So we went and purchased a shed, a very large shed,
Oh, nice.
14 by 48, and we're going to be building that out. And the reason why we are still going to be going for our dream of ICF home, which is a cement structure
Mm-hmm.
home.
It's the concrete forms.
Yeah. But
My back
things,
hurts.
because they're slapping up houses left and right here to get a contractor out to do anything. You're on hold, and the prices of just all kinds of stuff has gone skyrocketed. So we 2.5 weeks ago we went in and we bought a shed, and it's being delivered. It could be delivered tomorrow, but we're holding off until Wednesday of next week.
Mm-hmm.
We will be shooting that, of course, on video.
Of course.
And then my husband and I will. It's completely nothing inside, so we'll be,
Bare
making a little
bones.
house out. Yeah, and then we're going to put up a barn as well, so that we can start bringing in animals, because we don't want to live the rental market here, and in the housing market. Houses are going up so fast,
And
as
they're
far as
selling
price.
fast.
They sell within a week here,
Mm-hmm.
and in the rental market is crazy, and we're like, no, we're not going to rent another year. So we're just going to finish out a tiny home for ourselves and get on our land and
I
be
think
able to
that
be
is
on it.
so exciting.
It is
Uh,
exciting.
I can't wait to see what you put together with that. Gail wants to know, how many kids do you have?
I have 3 kids, and they're all grown out of the house, plus a stepson. So the stepson is living with us. He paid his way to get here to Tennessee as well, and then I have 2 kids and a girl in California, and she is an actress and a model.
Hmm.
And then I have a son that moved to California with her, to be with her, to be close to her, and then I have a son in Oregon.
And
So,
your husband,
and my husband,
because
of
they're
course.
our biggest kids, right?
Yeah.
Oh, goodness. Hello, Belly Acres. I know I said hello earlier, but I wanted to make sure that you heard that I said hello. And Roberta reminded all of us, ICF is insulated concrete forms.
Yes.
Let's see. Jesse and Lisa want to know, did you sell all of your furnishings from your Oregon home, or is it in storage?
Well, I'm sitting on my chair right now. We did bring a lot of it. Not all of it. We got rid of a lot, because we're combining 2 households right now. we wish we didn't get rid of my husband's lazy boy, because we thought we'd just get up here and get him a lazy boy, right? Well, you can't get a lazy boy until like September,
Oh no.
something like that. So,
Really?
yeah. So it's because of the housing crisis, and I guess in the price of moving just across country, it's a lot of money to move your stuff. I think we paid like $15,000 to
I was
move
going to say
all our
1,500.
stuff.
That's a deal.
Fif- fif-
15,000. Yeah.
fif-
Okay.
$15,000 to move all our stuff here, in containers, and that was a cheap container.
Mm-hmm.
And then, yeah, we haven't been. It's really hard to find the stuff to replace the stuff that we got rid of. So
Oh goodness.
I'm I'm glad we held on to our farming stuff and stuff like that. So
Yeah. And hit those estate sales and auctions.
yeah,
That's
yeah,
that's that's what we did when we moved here. We only came with a Penske truck. That was it. And
yeah.
everything else we've just kind of put together ever since then. Kept the things that meant something to us, the family
Mm-hmm.
memorabilia, but everything else we just figured could be replaced.
Right.
So, hello, Stephanie. Welcome to the Quickie. So, I want to know now that you're
Hi,
in
Steph.
Tennessee, what are some of the touristy things that you're looking forward to doing now that you actually live there?
We want to go to the Grand Ole Opry, of course.
Mm-hmm.
We've been by it already. And there's lots of touristy things. We'd love to go downtown and listen to a lot of music in Nashville. Um, we want to stay at the Grand Ole Opry Hotel maybe for like an anniversary or something,
Mm-hmm.
and go listening. We love listening to live music. We haven't been able to do that since we got married. So just stuff like that. Just getting out together and doing the touristy things. We want to go see Noah's Ark in Kentucky. Um, and we want to see a lot of the culture stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Just a lot of in the little town that we live in, or that we're gonna live in. There's just little culture-y, just visiting people, getting to know people, and go kayaking and stuff like that.
Just infusing
So,
yourself with the local culture.
hmm yeah.
There's a place, I believe it's south of Nashville. It's a national park or state park, but they got the cave.
hmm
There's a cave that you can walk down in and explore and hiking trails since you like hiking and everything. So
Yep.
that would be something to consider. And because I don't know if you know, we're planning a trip this summer. We're saving up our money and our cupcake pinata. And
hmm
Nashville is one of our proposed destinations. So I've been looking into things. So we're going to visit, if we end up down there, the Hermitage, which is Andrew Jackson's home.
hmm
And then was it Andrew Jackson? Who's on the 20? It's
I
Andrew
don't know.
Jackson.
We
I don't
all
know.
use
Whoever's on
plastic
the
now.
20. I don't
Yeah.
look at the 20s when I shove them in the
hmm
pinata. But his home, and then there's also a paddle boat dinner cruise
hmm
with a show that I kind of want to go on if we end up
I
down
heard
there.
about that too. Yeah.
Show the trips and tours so we can live vicariously through you. That's what they want you to do when you do that.
Okay.
Um, Care Grinder wants to know, can I live in a tent on your property?
A few poop troopers have asked me that question.
You could start with that much property. You could have a nice little commune going, and everybody
Yeah,
could
we could.
contribute and
We
live
could.
happily. Tiny Tim wants to know what animals do you plan on having on your new land, and he wants to know how many acres you have and if you have any ponds.
No ponds yet. Ponds are being planned.
And you're on a half an
So
acre, right?
yeah, we are on we are on 150 acres.
150 acres. What a dream.
Yeah, so a lot of work. And animals. Oh, all the animals. We want cows for sure. We want pigs. we want chickens to chase those pigs. And I think that's it for now. We don't have plans for goats. We don't have plans for, we might do with our cows, maybe a donkey, maybe.
Mm,
We're not sure yet. So, yeah.
okay. And of course, your hens for some eggs. And will you
Oh,
do turkeys
yes.
again?
Yes.
And
Love
rabbits?
turkeys. Yes. We're going to do a racking house. So we'll do the same kind of chickens and rabbits together in deep bedding. And that makes really good soil for your garden.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll do that again in our barn. That's why we want to get a barn up. And we do also want some layer chickens to. We really like the permaculture, Joel Salatin, all of that stuff. You know, having chickens chase after your pigs and chase after your your cows. I don't know how many cows we'll have. Probably maybe just 3 or 4, but we'll see. So.
You know, I have one piggy, and he lives with the coop kids. So that's the chickens, the ducks, the guinea fowl, and the turkeys. And I said to Papa Jim the other day, I said, "Have you seen how much pig poop's out there in that chicken yard?" And he's like, "Where is the pig poop?" I said, "There is no pig poop." Because the chickens chase after, as soon as the pig's going to poop, since we were talking
Mm-hmm.
poop earlier, as
Mm-hmm.
soon as the pig's going to poop, the chickens are like, "It's dinner time." It's like
Yep. They scratch
corn
it
so it
all
can go
away.
around.
Yep.
And so
Yeah.
there's no pig poop for me to step in when I go out there because the chickens and the turkeys, everybody takes care of it.
Yeah.
Hello, hello, Casey. Welcome. So, Lazy Days Ahead says Tennessee, name is of Cherokee origin from the tribe
Mm-hmm.
located at a village site called Tennessee, also spelled Tennessee. I love historical stuff like that. Somebody let me know the
Yes.
$20 bill right. I knew it earlier today.
Yep.
I don't even know what day it is right now. Hey, Laura at Hedgehogs. Love Raid from Wide Family Farm.
Oh.
Oh my gosh, I got my first Love Raid. I know it's for Laura, but Country Mama has her first Love Raid. I've always wanted a Love
Oh,
Raid.
thank you
So we have
guys.
Mrs. Cosmic Cultivators coming over to say hello to you. I'm so thrilled we got a Love Raid. Ooh, it's the first quickie with a Love Raid, too.
A
Ooh,
quickie with a love
swoon.
raid. Ooh.
I've had couples, I've had married men, I've had lots of different things. This is my first Love Raid. Oh my gosh. Um, when you go to the Ark, it's not much farther to the Creation Museum. Tiny Tim
Mm-hmm.
wants you to know. That'll be a neat thing to look into. And like I
Yes.
said, Casey's here from Ormsby Farm. I know Gail's like, ooh, because I'm talking pig poop.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, well, you know. Okay, so we do have, if I've got a mod that can hit that, that would be great. I've got somebody that wants to play, and I don't want to play in their sandbox today. But welcome,
No.
Mrs. Cosmic Cultivators. Welcome. A real farm with all the fixins is what Laquita says that you want for your farm.
Yes. Yes.
Absolutely. Quickies and a love raid, they go together like peanut butter and jelly. The
Yes, they do.
handcuffs and whipped cream. Danny
Yep.
wants to know, what is a love raid? A love raid is when somebody else is having a live and they know that you're having a live. And so their people come over and jump into your live and they're like, hello, we're here. It's a love raid or a love train. And
Mm-hmm.
I was just really happy that we got a few people that came over and said hello. I can't see the numbers, so I have no idea during that love raid what we
We're
jumped up to.
Yeah, we're at
But that's kind of fun.
18 people.
Okay, that's good.
Yeah.
So Grid Grind 19 wants to know when a chat ends. Oh, he's explaining, and they send everybody to a chat to share the love.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. See, I couldn't read that one until I pulled it up because my eyes don't know what it is. She's never heard that term before. Well, now you do know, and maybe one of these days when you're having a live, you'll get a love raid. I've been asking for a love raid for months, waiting for a love raid, and I
They're
finally got
awesome.
one.
They're
Check it
awesome.
off the bucket list. I've had a love raid.
Yep.
You know what is something that's on my bucket list? Because that was one of the questions we didn't get to in our quickie. Is one of them is, what's a bucket list item?
Mm-hmm.
I want to be somewhere in the middle of a random, genuine. I mean, I really
Mm-hmm.
want it to be genuine. I want to be in the middle of and now I can't think of what it's called. Oh, when they just break out in song all of a sudden. Flash
Oh,
mob. Flash mob?
yes, yes.
Yes.
Flash mob or dance mob or
Yeah, I want to be
yeah.
in the middle of those. Like if you're just standing around and all of a sudden somebody starts singing, you're like, what's that weirdo doing? Then somebody else joins in and
Mm-hmm.
then everybody starts synchronized dancing and you're in the middle of this
Mm-hmm.
flash mob. I want to I want to be in the middle of that. I think that would be so
That
great.
sounds like a lot of fun.
Oh,
Sounds
that's
like
a
a lot of
dream
fun.
of mine. And
Mm-hmm.
sometimes, it's not going to happen here at the farm unless the chickens all of a sudden get together and plan one. But anytime we go into town, if we go somewhere, I'm like, is it going to happen today? Is there going to be a flash mob at the mall? It never
Mm-hmm.
happens. One of these days I'll get one.
Well, I'll tell your chickens
Valley
they better
Acres,
get their
behave
act together.
yourself. It's not what it is, but we could consider that the love rage or the love rave for today.
Mm-hmm.
Well, thank you for allowing me to have some love, Mrs. Cosmic Cultivators. And you'll learn. I can't remember names to save my life. Chicken dance and sing. Da-na-na-na-na-na.
Mm-hmm.
There's a flash mob. I think it's one of my favorite ones. Is in the Antwerp train station, and
Mm.
everybody's just walking around, and all of a sudden they start singing "Doe, a deer, a female deer."
Oh
And then
yeah,
the next
nice.
person pops in and says, Ray, a drop
Mm-hmm.
of golden sun. And then the
Mm-hmm.
next person, and all before you know it, everybody's singing and everybody's dancing. And then there's all these children running down the stairs, and everybody's in synchronization and everybody's singing the song from The
Oh,
Sound of Music.
is that on
And
YouTube? I'll have to look it up.
it is, it is.
Oh
Look it
my
up. It's the
goodness.
Antwerp train station. I mean, I have goosebumps right now just talking about it
Mm.
because it's so unexpected. It is so well done. And then when they sing the very last note, everything goes back to like it normally was.
Yeah.
I mean, you know how it is like in Grand Central Station or somewhere. Everybody's just
Mm-hmm.
walking and meandering and doing their own thing. And
Mm-hmm.
all of a sudden it's like when they say do do, and then everybody just scrambles again. It's like it never happened. It is
Wow.
so neat. I really want to be
Wow.
in one of those. But I've seen them in food malls, well, on YouTube, where they happen in
Mm-hmm.
food malls and food courts and stuff. And I just think
Mm-hmm.
it'd be a fun thing to see. I really do. Some of the Christmas flash mobs make me cry. They are so beautiful, right?
Yes.
Right? Do, re, mi,
Yes.
fa, sol, la, ti, do. My granddaughter, oh, I missed it. I missed it. Let me go back up to it. I saw something, but my granddaughter did a dance mob in their neighborhood Walmart. They were thrown out.
Oh.
Okay, I want to do that too.
You want to get thrown out?
Yeah, I was at Walmart. I was at Walmart just last week, and I bought some 5-gallon buckets for storing my food in for my prep.
Mm-hmm.
And so I got in line and I noticed the man in front of me had a bunch of 5-gallon buckets. And
Mm.
then the woman in front of him had a whole bunch of 5-gallon buckets. And I said, what are we all doing here? What's going on? And I said, we all look really suspicious with all these
Mm-hmm.
5-gallon buckets. And so I said loud
Mm-hmm.
enough, I said, did you guys get the plastic bags and the rope, the duct tape? And the guy played along with it. The woman acted like she didn't hear us. But
Right.
I totally played it up and he played right into it.
Mm.
And
Nice.
but
I
I
love it
I
when
do.
people play.
Oh, I love stuff like that. And a bunch of friends. I was not able to attend because the world was spinning for me at this moment after a really fun dinner. But all of the friends, they all jumped in the car and they went to Home Depot and they did that. They were like, "Where's your rope and trash bags and duct tape?" And they were all running around being somebody got
Mm-hmm.
kicked out. They got kicked out of Home
Oh
Depot.
no. Oh no.
They can say they got kicked out of Home Depot.
Yeah.
Let's
That's
see.
funny.
Leanne from Mennonite Farmhouse has hopped in. Welcome. Best
Hi,
of luck. It would
Leanne.
be a song you didn't know. But I think it
Hi,
would still
Joe.
be a unique experience, Gwen, even if you didn't know the song.
Yeah.
Um, Another really neat one is I think it was in New York City, and Oprah was on stage, and there were a whole, like all of her fan base
Mm-hmm.
was out just standing around. And all of a sudden, people started busting out in a flash mob in the in the in the crowd, and
Oh,
it was
wow.
to the Black Eyed Peas, "I Got a Feeling." And before you know it, the entire crowd, all the way 2-3 blocks long, were all doing the same dance. They were all in on it,
Wow.
and she was just like, "Wow, this is neat." So it was
Yeah,
really,
that's really
really
cool.
something. So Danny says, I signed off my live the other night by singing the end of the So Long Farewell from The Sound of Music. Well, that's sweet.
Oh, very nice.
That is really sweet. I
Hey,
finished off,
fishes.
well, hey, Carol. Welcome. And Joe just popped in. Welcome. Um, my theater group is planning flash mobs to promote our shows once COVID isn't such a big thing. Oh, that would be great.
That would be great.
Ellie Akers got kicked out of Kids R Us for turning on all of the noisemakers. Walmart doesn't mind. Walmart doesn't mind because it's a nice distraction.
Yeah.
Oh, Carol says, boop, putting my son down, but wanted to see you do a quickie with Laura. Welcome, Carol. Thank you so much for stopping in. I'm 34 and like to squeeze the bike horns. Yes, I learned very, very the hard way. When
Mm-hmm.
I was in Walmart one time, my pig is named Pigglesworth, and he's named after a dog toy that is a
Mm-hmm.
pig that you find in Walmart, and you turn the piggy over, and on its belly it said Pigglesworth. And I loved squeezing that pig, and he goes,
Uh, yeah.
And I was walking through the store, and I squeezed it at a really inopportune time, because when I squeezed it and it made this grunting pig noise, this rather large woman turned around and looked at me like she was going to knock me to the floor.
Oh my goodness.
And I mean, it was really, it's not like I walked up behind her and squeezed the pig.
Mm-hmm.
I was just so taken up with the pig and having a good time. I didn't notice my surroundings. Always look at your surroundings when you're making a piggy squeaky noise. Because she was big enough, she could have clocked me and
Yeah.
sent me to the
Yeah.
floor. No
You
problem.
want to
And I
hear?
think she looked like she was going to do it.
Yeah. I
So,
was at Walmart and I took a special needs child. And this special needs child has trouble saying the word fishes. She says it with a B.
oh, no.
And and so we were walking by the all the animal food and all that stuff, and at the end of the aisle they had fishes. And she's at the top of her lungs. She gets so excited about fishes. She pointed, and of course, there's a lady standing in front of the tanks. And she goes, fish, but with a B.
Wow, look at all of them.
And I'm like, and she's obviously, special needs, got, braces on. She couldn't say anything else well, any of that stuff. And I said to the lady, I said, she's trying to say fish. If you look behind you, there's a bunch of fish, and she's trying to say fish. And the lady's like, she is not.
Well, don't give her reason to prove her wrong or
I'm
prove her
like,
right.
oh, do you want to see the fish? And she's like, yes, yes. And
She's
she's
like,
saying
you have
it
to tell
over and
that
over
bee lady
again.
to get out of my way so I can see them.
Yeah.
Welcome, Fairy Dust. I'm glad you were able to stop in.
Hi,
And
Fairy
Belinda and
Dust.
Chuck have dropped in to say hello.
Hi,
Look at all your
Belinda.
friends dropping in to say hello to you and give you a love raid. That's so great. So
Well,
great.
they're
And good
they're
night,
awesome
Jessie.
people.
Yeah, it's a really great group over there. So great that they came over to support you.
Yeah, I
So,
appreciate it, guys.
what a bunch of love. That's so great. So great. So, again, do you guys have any more questions for Laura? Drop those questions over there. We'll pop them up there. She's got a lot going on in her life, so you guys need to get caught
Oh,
up if you
yes, we
haven't
do.
already.
Yes, we
I
do.
like making really loud fart noises in public restrooms. After I sit down, it makes everyone laugh. And the great thing is if somebody says, ooh, then you know that if they can smell it, then
Mm-hmm.
I'm not going to test positive for certain tests.
Mm-hmm.
Happy Monday late night, Fairy Dust. I'm so glad you popped in. Um, I was going to say something. We were talking earlier about something, and my poor brain, it just popped right out of my head. I asked Papa Jim to light a fire before he went to bed because it was so cold in here. Now I just had to strip off the blanket, and I'm like, I'm dying in
Oh
here.
yeah,
It's
yeah.
nice that it's worked, that the fire is warming up. Fishes and Loaves says, same at Hedgehog's Homestead. Malachi did it in the Nordstroms. In the shoe section had a really nice aquarium. So we entered the store saying, bee, bee, bee. And
Yep.
here's a question for you. It was touched on earlier, but maybe you could expound a little bit more on maybe breed or what your plans are.
I like New Zealand's um, because they get so nice and big. They're a great meat breed. But I also like California Rexes or crosses.
Mm,
I like the cross between I when I was breeding mine I bred the California with the New Zealand, and the colors were just so beautiful that it was easy to sell them to make some money when I didn't need the food.
mm-hmm.
So yeah.
And welcome, Ron Darrell Adventures. The first time I've seen your name.
Hello, Rondero.
And Danny says, see, now I hear fishes and loaves, and I hear the little girl bee issues. Well, if we're going to go there.
Okay, Danny.
So, so happy for you, Laura, and can't wait to see your new place come together. It's going to be incredibly awesome. It really is. And you
Yeah,
got
I
a
can't wait to get a
lot.
garden in.
Yes.
Yeah.
It'll be interesting to see how your soil works for you and where you're going to put your garden plots and what you're going to put
Mm-hmm.
in. And
Yeah.
I think I think it's just I know I'm not the only one because as I'm talking to you, I'm feeling more excited and more excited. And I know I'm
Mm-hmm.
not the only one feeling this for you, that it's such a great new adventure that you're going on. And I love that
It
you're at
is.
this stage in your life that you can do it. I wish we would have started this 20 years ago.
Mm.
Um, I know we would have had a lot more energy. We waited a little bit too long, but I think you're at the right time in your life to do this. I think it's great.
Yeah. Yeah. I hope so. I hope we didn't wait too long. But it was the right time financially for us to do it. So
Hmm.
it was a good
Well, I think
move.
financially is great, but when you wait too long is when you physically can't do all the stuff anymore. But
Right. That's what I worry about. Is that
that's where
maybe we.
that's where we are. Garden is a magic word.
Mm-hmm.
Eating, dreaming, and gardening is it.
Yep.
Don't believe anything Fairy Dust or Mobang say about me. Oh, now I'm definitely going to believe it. Now
Yep.
you're in trouble. Now you're in trouble, Ron. We're going to believe every single thing. Um, so what kind of garden are you thinking about starting when you get in there? Are you going to do plots? Or are you going to do raised garden
I'm
beds?
probably gonna do raised garden beds because we have some major soil issues that aren't gonna fix quickly.
Hmm.
Um, we have broom sage, which is a good sign that we have a Lyme issue, and we don't even have. I mean, first thing we're gonna do is knock all the grass down, but even before that, we have to get our area laid out for our shed to home build. So, but we will probably we'll do the raised beds, and then I'm probably going to do an area like either a lasagna garden or something like that to build up the soil. You know,
Mm-hmm.
so I'm very excited about that.
I think that'll be neat. So Carol wants to know, do you think you'll be able to breed and sell any of your animals there? Not just, I'm gonna say not just the fact that you could do that, but what about logistically? Will you have a market there, do you think, for people?
There's huge market. There's some of the best um, garden markets. What is that called?
Farmers markets?
Farmers markets. Yeah, they have really good farmers markets. Um, I want to do organic chicken and do everything organic. I don't know how the market is here for that.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, I don't know. I don't know. We'll have to figure that out. But, it's expanding so much here, so maybe some of that's coming in.
And what's great is you don't have to figure it all out today.
Right,
You're going to
right.
have plenty of time, just like you're talking about your lasagna gardening. You're going to have a lasagna whole adventure.
Mm-hmm.
Everything's going to be
Yeah,
lasagna. That's what you
yeah.
need to name your farm, Lasagna Ranch. We're just building everything by layers.
My husband, we brought my son there, and he saw the land
Oh,
for the
yes.
first time today, and he goes, "Welcome to Hedgehog Manor."
Oh, I like it.
So,
I've got somebody out here. They named their place because they have a bunch of thistle, and
mm-hmm,
so they named their place Thistlewood Manor.
hmm,
And I thought it was kind of neat that they called it Manor. So I
mm-hmm,
like Manor. That would be great.
yeah.
Stephanie says there'll be a market for that there. And Fairy Dust is wishing you the best on your garden growing. And Yossi popped in while we were talking.
Nice. Hi, Yossi.
And Carol says yes, that the area, she wanted if the area was saturated for farm animals with so many new homesteaders and old combining.
Uh-huh. I don't think it's saturated for animals. No,
Okay,
I think
good.
there's plenty of um, room for it. So there's a
Awesome.
lot of I don't know if we'll sell beef. I don't know if I mean if we do anything, we'll probably do chicken. Um, so,
And it's
but
neat.
I'm not sure.
You'll be able to figure out all those different priorities as you go.
Right.
And it's just like, we're so excited for Casey over at Ormsby Farms because he just got a homestead too. And we're telling him, you don't have to do it all right now. Take your time
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
and you'll build on it. And I know our first year here, I did way too much. I
Yeah.
needed to listen to everybody just say,
I
slow down. And I was like, no, I have to get all the animals.
I really want to work with the soil that's here, because it is a clay sand kind of mixture. Um, so it drains well and it holds water decently. It should
Mm-hmm.
with those two mixtures, but I don't know. We'll see. There's my husband's even getting into what to do for the soil. He wants to really build up and make for the cows and the things that we graze on the land, just really good grass for them and stuff like that. So,
Well, just a little selfish plug here. Over on Round the Hay Bale today, we introduced some information for a soil testing kit. And if you go
mm,
check out Round the Hay Bale, there's a discount code so you can get a soil testing kit. So for some of your places, you can actually do the soil testing. You mail it in, and they'll tell you everything you need for that soil to get it ready for your
for
garden.
for here in Tennessee, we can just bring in a cup of soil to. There's a place I forget. I've heard from 5 different
It's
people
the
already.
extension office.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And they'll take care of it. And I'm like, oh,
So for
that's
anybody
nice.
who wants to buy one with our code, our special code, go
Yeah,
see
with your
Round the
special
Hay
code,
Bale.
yes. Because not everybody has that ability to get
Not
into the
everybody
extension.
has an extension office.
Right.
Danny says, uh, wherever I go, I'm planting a ton of lilac. So I'm trying to think of what to call my farm with lilacs in it.
Hmm.
Nice. I want to know, Laura, do you say lilac or lilac?
Lilac.
Lilac, I do too. Out here, people call it lilac sometimes.
Hmm.
And I've got two small lilac bushes, and I forget the actual name of them. They don't get real big. And I made the lilac infused honey this year. And then I planted one for my mom at the entrance of our driveway, and it's going to get real big. So lilac, we'll have to think of some names for you. You should do that on your channel. You should actually do
Mm-hmm.
a video and make it a challenge where somebody can name your location when you finally get there and get your lilacs all planted, and then plant a lilac in their honor, whoever comes up with the name, like
There you
Lilac
go.
Landing.
See, you're so full of
Just
good
like our
ideas.
Lilac Landing. So, and I did say hello to Courtney. Courtney popped in to say hello.
Yeah.
And Jillian and Carrie say 2 years where they're at, and they feel like they just got started. It's amazing how sometimes it feels like you have just gotten started, but then you find out you've been there forever. And Lilac
Right.
Nest Monster. Oh, that's clever. Instead of the Loch Ness Monster, it's the Lilac Nest Monster. That's actually pretty funny.
That is pretty funny.
That is very, very clever.
Yeah, I have a feeling it's gonna be that way too. It's just gonna go by so fast, and there's so much to do.
Yeah. Yeah, but and you'll look back. I can't believe we've been here 8 years. It's gone in a heartbeat. So Heather says, my husband makes fun of me because I say that I want to have a homesteaderish lifestyle. He says that isn't homesteading. It doesn't matter where you're located. It doesn't matter your home, your
Exactly.
footage. It doesn't matter if you're in an apartment and you've got a couple of buckets that are growing out on the deck. It doesn't matter. If you want it to be homesteadish, wherever you are, it's homesteadish. So don't let anybody take that
Yeah.
joy away from you.
It doesn't matter if you're going to the farmer's market and buying a bunch of food and canning it. It doesn't matter if you're raising your own meat. I mean, you can even can your own meat that you get at the grocery store. It's you do it your way, and it's, I think, the mentality more than anything.
It's the mentality, it's a lifestyle, and even let's not even add animals into it. Let's not add gardening into it. Baking bread, learning how to preserve your food, learning some of the handicrafts that's becoming a lost art, crochet,
Yeah.
sewing, things like that. Those are things that can be considered homesteady-ish, and you can apply that to your life. So you just keep going, Heather, and don't you worry about that at all. You've got
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
You've got it. Welcome, Blue Pixie. Good morning. Good morning for you.
And not everybody can, even if they have the ability and the money and the whatever, not everybody has the, I mean, you're giving up a lot to do it at a certain level where you got a lot of animals and a lot of,
Mm-hmm.
you know, it's, you know, so everybody does it at their own level.
And wouldn't it be boring if we all did it all at the same level, if we all did the same thing?
Yes, it would be.
It would be boring.
And
That
we wouldn't
you
we
have to
wouldn't be able
diversity.
to learn from each other, and that's what I love about our
Absolutely.
community, is that
Absolutely. And
everybody
it's
has
just
their strength.
it's something we were discussing this morning in the podcast. Is it doesn't matter, like I was saying earlier, if you're in an apartment, you can still put things away and have food preparedness and food security, even if you're just in an apartment. You don't need to be on 10 acres. You can
Exactly.
be prepared with different things where you are. And so I think as soon as you can get out of your head enough to realize that you work with what you've got and not worry about it, you're going to be fine. I was sharing today that we put a lot of work into redoing this entire farmhouse, and I've got, shiplap and butcher block. Well, right now my shiplap kitchen island is completely covered in boxes of bottled water, 3 gallons high and I don't know, 15 gallons wide, because I needed a place to put some extra water storage. And that's where it is. And so it's not pretty, but what do I care? If we lose power and I need water, I've got water because we're on a
Yeah.
well. Can't pull it
Yeah.
up. So, and that's something you're going to have to do from scratch. You're going to have to get a well dug and your electric brought in.
Yep. We are
All
4 months
these
out on our well, so we're gonna have to bring in water. Or
That was my dog.
I've heard him do that before. And yeah, well, septic, all of that stuff. We're going to be doing all that stuff on our channel. So
Yep. That'll be really great. Did you see the great Danny, did you see the really great name that Gwen came up with for you? Lilaxadaisical Farm. I like that.
That's
I really
hilarious.
like that. And Danny says that they started gardening 3 years ago, just on a small plot on a porch.
Hmm.
So it's her 4th year gardening. I'm falling behind on all of the chat, guys. I apologize.
Yeah, well, I mean, my husband and I started out in our backyard. We had one area that was very small that got light half the day.
Mm-hmm.
And that's where we did our garden. And on the other side of that, where it was a little more shady than that, we had chickens and turkeys and rabbits.
You okay? Are you okay? She's just looking at me like, you don't even know. Oh, you're okay, sweetie.
So, I mean, and then we did meat chickens and, meat turkeys and all in our backyard in the city, and not everybody can do that either, but that's how we started.
And I think
So,
it's like somebody said earlier, it's a mindset, it's an attitude. You
hmm.
can do it. It's kind of like that whole saying of bloom where you're planted.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
You got a porch and you want to grow some stuff, and don't forget when you are growing a garden, grow some stuff that just makes you happy.
Absolutely. My first year gardening, I did the basics for the produce.
Hmm.
But this last year, I had those blue chairs at the end of my raised gardens, and I had zinnias in galvanized pots. Those zinnias brought me more joy and happiness. The dog does not care for the zinnias so much. Danny's like, oh
Yes.
my God. It's like, I know. I don't know what to do with her. Welcome, Stephanie. And yes, sometimes you have to understand what fits you perfectly. So she has two
Hmm.
acres. Anything more than that at her stage in life would be too much for her.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yep.
blame the dog. It is the dog.
It is.
There she is. There she is. She's just an old girl. She's a rescue. She got issues. She got 99 problems and retching is one. But she's getting old. She's got arthritis and
Hmm.
she kind of
It's
walks with a little gimp.
it's like the one over there that's
Hmm.
not supposed to be on the couch, but he's on the couch.
This is basically her couch.
Yeah.
The floor is cold and she's got arthritis in her hips, so we let her come up here
Hmm.
on the couch all she wants.
Same
All
thing
she
here.
wants. And
He
yeah,
does
I'm going to
too.
blame it on the dog, but at least when I turn the camera, it's not like it's my husband or something. Because a lot of people for a long time were thinking it was my husband. It's like, it's not. It's the dog, I promise. And she does it every time I'm on a live. I don't know if it's like an attention getting thing, because it's not like she does it all day long, like it is an
Hmm.
allergy or she's got something stuck in her throat or something. It's usually when I'm on a live that she does that. So I think
Hmm.
she's like, she wants attention or something. Let's see if I can get caught up a little bit on the live. I know, poor baby, when I'm sitting here laughing at her. Post nasal drip pup. Oh, and Danny's right. You make do the best with the hand that you've been dealt, and you're gonna be okay.
Yep. Yep.
You're gonna be okay. Is it a fur ball? I usually, when I cough, I say it's a fur ball. I don't know what she got going on. If it's a fur ball, she never
Hmm.
she never produces anything. She just retches, and she doesn't
Mm.
heave like a dry heave.
Right.
She just it's like it's like that gross old man in church that always sits right behind you in the pew
Hmm.
behind you, and he's always hawking up a loogie or something. But you just don't know what's going to hit you in the back of the head. That's the way she makes me feel.
Well, she's just old.
She is. She is. We've
We
had her
all do
6
stuff when
kids.
we get older that we didn't expect.
Don't get me started. Don't get me started, Laura. She sounds like me when I can't find my glasses or my coffee cup. I growl. Oh, it's her contribution to life. She does it all the time. And what's funny is I've had several people say that I need to get a video of her doing it. And I
Hmm.
saw somebody put one on Instagram the other day. Their dog doing the
Mm.
exact same thing, and they got like thousands of hits.
Yeah.
Missed
Yeah.
it by that much. From those of you who already Live my dream. A 2 acres enough for chickens, a small flock, a pair of goats, a pig, and a big garden? Absolutely. And maybe a couple fruit
Yep.
trees. Yep. Absolutely,
Mm-hmm.
Danny.
Yep.
She wants it to be quiet. She's telling me to be quiet. The dog is. Oh my goodness. But yeah,
Yep. You
2 acres is plenty.
you can do pigs on a deep bedding method, um, and you know, as long as you make it really nice and deep. Um, yeah.
Yeah, you should have plenty of room. I'm on 5 acres and we barely use any of what we've got. If I were 20 years younger, I'd be utilizing much more than
Mm-hmm.
what I've got going on here because I've got a very small, because of my health, it's just a very small garden.
Mm-hmm.
And it'll be interesting to see what I put in it this year, but no more cucumbers. No more cucumbers this year. I'm
No more
tempted because I was
pickles.
so tired at the end of last year when I got that, what I thought was garden fever. I just thought this next year I'm just going to broadcast zinnia seeds throughout the entire garden and just have
Mm,
it be like an English garden for this year and not do so much produce. But I want my string beans because I got a new canner, and I want tomatoes. I want more tomatoes because I already ran out of all the sauce that I made this last year.
oh
And it
yeah.
was double the sauce I had last year before that. So I want more tomatoes. I want more green beans. Hello, Tammy with Rebel Canners. Thank you for popping in.
Hey
Um,
Tammy.
So we're just talking all kinds of homesteading stuff, and some people had some questions. We're excited because Laura is going to be going out onto her new property and starting a whole new life with her new homestead. So we were just hitting some of the bases there. And Danny says, I got to do this while I'm young enough to put in the work. Yeah.
Yeah. Yep.
Well, like I said, it took me 28 years to get my husband to come back here. If we would have done this 28 years ago, we'd have a
Mm-hmm.
pretty sweet little established farm. I'm happy with the work we've done. We've done great things with this farm, but it would have been much easier, 28 years ago and without a cancer diagnosis.
Mm-hmm.
Would have been great. And he's
Yeah.
probably thankful we didn't because I would have just probably run that poor man ragged.
Yeah. Yep.
There's that meme. There's a meme that says when your wife says, I've been thinking, and it means the poor husband's going to have to do some painting or construction or something.
Yep.
He knows because he'll come home and I'll say, do you know what I saw? Or do you know what I was thinking? And he goes, oh no, here we go. So goats will help you clear the weeds and the briars.
Yeah. But so will pigs.
Yeah, because they clean everything up for
Mm-hmm.
you, pull in the
Yep.
area.
Yep.
Um, Small versions of every barnyard animal you want just need healthy ones. And if you're going to put goats out on the chain, you have to make sure that it's something they're accustomed to from a young age. Because we did get a really beautiful little dairy goat. She would walk with us. She would walk with a leash if we
Mm-hmm.
wanted to, put a lead rope on her. But as soon as we put her on a tether so she could just sit in the front yard and graze, she panicked. And I thought she was going to break her neck because
Mm.
she'd freak and run. And then I took her off of it right away. So you just got to really be careful with that.
Yeah. I have electric netting, but
Well, she
the
had a
electric fence.
pasture. We had a
Mm.
pasture for them and we had the barn, but I wanted her up here with me every once in a while. And I just thought it'd be really nice if she would just be out in the yard. And so I tried that and I
Mm-hmm.
learned real quick that didn't work for her. Keep the goats busy
Yeah.
or they'll find a way to get out. Yes, they will. And even if you do keep them busy, they'll still find a way to get out. I miss my goats.
Mm-hmm.
My goats used to come walking by the window here. They'd come up on the deck and they'd walk by. And I miss seeing my
Mm.
goats. So I don't have the goats anymore.
I love the goats. My sister has a bunch of goats, but Chris doesn't like the goats. He's like the creepy eyes. But
Oh,
I think he'd get over it. I just don't, you know. Um, yeah. So I don't know.
yeah.
We'll see.
Julie and Carrie have a good point. Sheep, they'll stick around, but goats,
Mm-hmm.
they'll get out and they'll wander.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but the sheep will take your pasture down pretty quick too. People rent goats out where they live and to get everything down. Geese will eat the weeds, yeah, and geese will chase you. Show of hands, who's been chased by a goose?
Oh, me in a
Yeah.
big way. I was walking uh, through a park, and there was a bunch of geese, and um, my husband goes, You know that story, never turn your back on a goose? And we turned around and there was a goose just ready to bite my rear, you
You were
know?
going to get goosed.
I was gonna get goosed. It was it was hilarious. It was one of those moments that you don't forget. So yeah.
Yeah. I have an affinity here for the Canadian honkers that come down and land in the fields and stuff, and
Mm-hmm.
they'll chase you, and they can be very aggressive.
Mm-hmm. Yes, they can.
Danny got chased by a wild tom turkey, and guineas will chase you too, says Stephanie.
Mm-hmm. That's why people get them. That's another reason why people get them.
Yeah, they're good guard dogs, and so are geese. Our
Yep.
guineas, they usually let me know if there's something going on out there. And I know a lot of people say, "Gosh, how can you stand to listen to them? They're so annoying." I love listening to them. And sometimes if we get up on a Saturday morning and Papa Jim goes out and he opens up the door and lets everybody out of the coop out into the orchard, and then we'll go back and just lay down for a little while, and we'll hear the guineas go off with their car alarm stuff, and we just sit there and smile because it's not an annoyance to us. We love it.
Yeah. We were thinking about putting a
Farm
geese in
turtles.
with our chickens because they'll protect the chickens.
Yeah.
But we have a lot of coyotes that we may have to take care of
Mm.
because there's scat everywhere. It's crazy.
And everybody's saying about how donkeys are great guard animals.
Mm-hmm.
Ours weren't. We did have a wild pack of dogs come through and do some damage here at the farm, and all of our donkeys were hovered in a corner, and they did. Our buck goat Remington, he's the one who did his best to protect the herd, and everybody else was in the corner of the barn. And he paid for his life, but he protected everybody else. But I was really surprised our donkeys did not do more.
Mm.
So
I think it's more the big donkeys that do that.
yeah, these are minis.
Yeah.
If I had some mammoths or something, maybe it was different. Maybe that would have been
Yeah.
different.
You need some real asses.
Yeah, don't go for those mini asses. Get the real
Yeah.
ones.
Get the real asses.
Um, my dream is a nursery. Pick your own veggies, pick your own flowers, and a petting zoo. Don't really
Mm.
see any of it becoming real though. So take those three and narrow it down to one and start with one.
Mm-hmm.
Depending on where you live, I mean, I live in the middle of nowhere, and everybody around here knows what a chicken is, and they know what a pig is, and they know what a goat is. But I made arrangements with the local bed and breakfast to make my farm available for farm tours. And this is when we first moved here. And they would have people come stay at the bed and breakfast that had never been on a farm. So they
Mm.
would bring them over to the farm. And I remember specifically a young lady from New York. She'd never seen a chicken before. And I
Wow.
remember so vividly, taking her into the coop, and she was so afraid of the chickens. And I'd hold a chicken and let her pet it. And she got to reach under and get some eggs. And it was so thrilling for her. And it's something that so
Mm-hmm.
many people take for granted. And so you could start with something like that. Just start with a couple of chickens and have them come out. And good golly, if you plant cucumbers, you'll have enough cucumbers to keep that going for a while if you had anything like I did. Hey,
Mm-hmm.
Gardener Josh, welcome. So yeah, just start with one. You don't have to start with all three. You can start small and build from there. But I think it would be great to have a pick your own flowers. I was saying I want to just kind of fill a whole bunch of stuff with zinnias this year. I thought it would be
Oh,
really
me
neat
too.
if I could have a little cut flower stand on the driveway there, and somebody
Mm-hmm.
could just stop and
I
just get
love
a bunch of
growing
little cut
zinnias. They're
flowers.
so easy and
They're
just
so
so
beautiful and they
they're
last
so
so
beautiful.
long.
Yes. Well, after you
Oh
cut
my
them, oh
gosh,
yeah, yeah.
so beautiful. And I've saved so many seeds, and
Mm-hmm.
I really want to do that. I used to have an egg stand at the driveway, and people would barter. People would
Yeah.
come get a couple dozen eggs, and they drop off some pickles or something for me. I think it would be really neat if I had a little stand out there just for cut flowers. And if
Mm-hmm.
nobody buys them, I bring them in the house and I enjoy them. And then I
Mm-hmm.
save the seeds, so there's no loss.
Well, I'm allergic to a lot of flowers, and that's one of the flowers I'm not allergic to.
Oh,
And so
I hope
I
you're going to have
love
lots of
seeds.
zinnias at your farm.
Yeah.
at your
I will.
homestead when you get it,
My
at your
homestead.
manor when you get all set up.
Zinnias and tulips and yeah.
Yes. Let's see here. 2 summers ago, someone gave me eggs when I gave them strawberry plant seed. The barter system is such a wonderful
Mm-hmm.
thing. It is a wonderful thing. I thought it was so great because I had people say, don't you worry that somebody's going to stiff you on those eggs or somebody's going to steal the money out of the money jar. I never had anybody steal the money. I never had anybody stiff me with the eggs. And it was so neat to come home at the end of the day and open up the cooler and see canned goods that people took in exchange for the eggs. It was really great.
Mm-hmm.
The only time I ever had anything that was questionable at all was when our neighbor to the west of us, I looked out the door and it's like, what is he doing? He was in our ditch and he
Mm.
was roaming around in our ditch and he was picking all of the wild asparagus in our
Mm-hmm.
ditch. And I
Wow.
said, what
Okay.
are you doing? He says, well, I'm picking some asparagus. And I said, oh, picking my wild asparagus because it's my ditch. He goes, well, I
Mm-hmm.
thought I would trade you for some eggs. Oh, so you're gonna barter my eggs with my asparagus. I see how that works. But at least I don't have to walk down in the ditch.
Yeah.
Hi,
Yep.
Brenda. Thank you so much for stopping in. I appreciate it. I really do. You're gonna go take care of mom. Okay. Thank you so much, Carol, for dropping in. So you know what? We're at almost an hour and a half, and things are starting to wind down. People have things to do. And if you have any final questions for Laura, drop them into the chat now. And I apologize for the ones that I've missed. The chat moved really fast tonight. I want to thank everybody for dropping in. That was really, really great. I'm so glad to see so many of you saving you the labor of the harvest. Absolutely. That's right, Danny. And Heather says she never asked for anything in return when she gave them the strawberry plants. And those are the best times when you don't ask for
Mm-hmm.
something in return and you're blessed with something. It really is great. Oh, look at Belly Acres, what they're going to do. They're going to make a gift cupboard to go at the end of their drive, and they'll fill it with eggs and things for folks who need to, or if they want to trade. That is great.
That's awesome.
That is a really great thing to
I
do.
like that belly acres.
Mm-hmm. So I want to ask Laura before we wrap things up for tonight, and Stephanie says to say hello to Chris.
I
I'd like
will.
to know, do you have a question for me? Now that we've just pummeled you with questions all night long.
Mm-hmm. What what animals did you start with on your homestead, and why?
And why? We first started with our dogs that we brought with us. We have rescued dogs. And we knew from the very beginning that this would be the type of homestead where we were going to be a rehome and rescue. So any animal that we came across that needed a home, that was either abused or neglected or unloved or abandoned or whatever the circumstance was, we would welcome them onto our farm and they would live out the rest of their natural lives here. So we started with, as far as farm animals, we started with chicks. And what we did was we would go to the local, like a Tractor Supply store. And if they had the chicks that were at the end of a run, as far as like their run coming in from the
Mm-hmm.
hatchery, and they had the ones that were sickly and probably weren't going to make it, we'd get those and we'd bring them here and we would nurse them to health and then put them out in the chicken coop. None of them are ever butchered. Our girls that started with us, they lived their whole life here, and then we add to them. If I would come across somebody who'd say, we got these ducks for Easter and now we can't keep them, I need a home for them, the ducks would come here. So we
Mm-hmm.
got more ducks, more chickens. Then I started having people say, this turkey needs a home. So the turkey would come over. Um, I went to an animal auction with my sister one time, and there was, from far away as we were walking in, there was this beautiful white pony.
Mm.
She was 35 inches tall and just gorgeous with this beautiful, gorgeous flowing mane. But then when we walked up closer, we noticed she had holes in her face. She was in a cattle halter that was rusted, and it had rusted and rubbed to the bone. She was neglected.
Mm.
She looked awful. Nobody wanted her. She was going to go in the kill pen, and
Oh
she would then
wow.
go to be processed. And I didn't even have a horse trailer with me that day, but I bid on her to bring her home. She lived the rest of her life here. We've had a blind pony. We ended up with some goats that needed homes. We have a pig that was a product of inbreeding, so he's got some deformities, and he wasn't going to go to a good place. I think we
Mm-hmm.
drove 2.5 hours to go pick him up, so that it was somebody had just posted, and it was almost like a threat. If somebody doesn't come get this pig, I'm just going to drop it off at a hog confinement and hope they take care of it, which they
Mm.
wouldn't have. And it's a
No.
potbelly pig, and it was a baby. He was only 3 pounds. I mean, you just can't drop off a
Right.
3 pound baby potbelly pig at a hog
Mm.
confinement. So we went and got him, and so we ended up with 3 pigs, cats that needed a place to live, and of course I had a barn, so I needed barn cats. And I think
Mm-hmm.
in our first year here, we ended up with like 59 random animals: donkeys, horses, goats, whatever.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I loved it. And we were doing really well with it and giving everybody a beautiful home. And it worked very, very well until I got sick. And then
Mm.
all of that fell on my husband.
Yeah.
And after that, then we, like I said, nothing was processed. Uh, Everybody's lived their natural lives. I just haven't added to like I normally would.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And I did have to rehome my goats, but I found a 52, no, not 52, 27-acre farm north of us, and they took the goats. And they said that they would not be processed, that they'd have a good life there. So I have to believe that.
Mm-hmm.
But they just kept getting out, and they didn't
Yeah.
stay on the farm. They were going to other farms. And we have coyotes out here. And I wasn't sleeping because I thought, if the coyotes got them in the middle of the night, and the whole pack would go, the whole herd,
Mm-hmm.
daddies and mamas and babies, they just leave. And it just wasn't
Wow.
fair. It's not fair
Hmm.
when your husband's out there at 1 o'clock in the morning trying to get goats to come home, and he has to
No.
go to work the next
No.
day. So I had to
Yeah.
let the goats go, but I miss them so much. They're so entertaining. So
They
yeah,
are.
50. I say 59, but technically we brought home 59 and a half animals the first year here, because
Mm-hmm.
that pony that had the holes in her face, she was confirmed exposed. So, but she never delivered. She bagged
Mm.
up. The vet came out and confirmed twice. Never got a
Mm.
foal. Never got a foal. Never
Mm.
had evidence that she foaled in the corner of the pasture and maybe something happened. There was never anything.
Hmm.
So we don't know if it was a pseudo pregnancy or what. But I mean, you looked at her straight on and she looked like she swallowed a Volkswagen and the doors were open.
Yep.
Let's see what's being said here. Country Mama, you're amazing. I'm so glad there are people in the world like you who want to take care of the ones that need it the most. Hopefully someday I'm in a position to do the exact same thing. I hope so too. That would be really great. And just start with one. We started with one dog, then we got 2 dogs, then it was 3 dogs, and now it's 4 dogs. And somebody dumped a cat out here the other day. That's one thing when you live on an acreage, people will drive by and dump their cats off on you. And
Mm.
so we've got a new cat. And this year we've also added to the flock, unintentionally, we have a wild turkey. We've got a
Oh.
wild turkey that has been separated from her natural flock, and she shows
Ah.
up here every morning for breakfast with the rest of the group. She hangs out in the run with them all day, and then at night she goes and hunkers down somewhere out in the orchard, and she
Hmm.
shows up again every morning. There's no other wild
Interesting.
turkeys. Nobody's seen any other ones out here, so
Hmm.
she's here every morning. I named her Phoebe.
Oh. Was she the
So,
one that was on? I saw a video where she was outside the fence. There was one coming to the fence all the time.
well, we we had Chandler and Monica,
Okay.
and Monica would always perch on top of the house. And last year we lost Chandler to pneumonia, and then Monica, she had a nest that she was sitting on, and something got her.
Mm.
And now we have Joey and
Mm.
Phoebe, and we have Rachel and Ross, and we have Marcel.
Ah, I feel like I gotta clap.
Right? I didn't intend to be a hospice home, but Bo was the best rescue I've ever taken in. They are the greatest. They really are.
Yeah. Norman's my rescue. He was a breeder hoarder kind of person. Had her and or had him, and he had sores in his feet. You know when I got him, and where you can see where the bars where he was kept in a cage all the time. And so,
Oh,
yeah.
he's got a good life now.
Oh, yeah, he does. He's a sweet boy.
Up on the couch where he's not supposed to be.
Up on the couch. Well, yeah, that's Astro, but he's had
Oh,
a
different
sweet
one.
life all the time. But Norman's my little dachshund,
Oh, okay.
and
Okay.
he's usually he went to bed with Daddy. He's usually right here in the
Stephanie
chair
says she
with me.
thought Chris was your rescue, Laura.
Oh yes, yes, he is a rescue as well.
So, Beer Garden wants to know, so is the turkey Thanksgiving or Christmas? Not on this farm. Not on this farm. We treat them on Christmas and Thanksgiving. They get an extra special meal, and we have enchiladas or something.
Yeah.
So you love the series of Friends. Yossi, the reason that I named them Friends names is because I was trying to get our first male turkey. His name was not originally Chandler, but I was trying to get him to talk to me one day. And I said, "Oh, you're so beautiful." Like, God, I can't think of her name, but you know who I'm talking about? Janice.
Yes,
Janice
yes.
from Friends. And when I said, "Oh my God," he was like, "Boo." I was like, "Oh my God," he talks to me when I talk to him like Janice. So the more I spoke to him like Janice, the more he would talk back to me. So I named him Chandler. Oh my God, Chandler Bing. And so then we had Monica, and it's just kind of gone from there. Heather says my parents took care of a stray cat once. My mom, when you ride a bike and the pedal comes off and you've just got that piece of metal sticking out, but you still ride the bike. My brother
Yep.
had a 10-speed and one of the pedals had come off. And it was a windy night and he had the bike parked next to the house. And I don't know what happened. Timing was just right that as this stray cat was going by, the bike blew over. And that pedal went through the cat and pinned him
Oh.
to the driveway. And of course, my mother finds him the next morning. And we lived in the middle of nowhere because my dad was a miner for Kaiser Steel. And so we lived in this little mining town. And oh my gosh, my mom scooped up that cat and drove 80 miles one way to take it to a vet. It had to have surgery. And we were poor. But my mom made arrangements for this cat to be taken care of. And she went and she bought the litter box and the bowl. She bought everything for the cat for when we brought him back home from the vet. And as soon as she got home, he ran away. My dad was livid, livid, because we didn't have the money for that. The cat just took off. He was like,
Oh.
"Screw you people, I'm out of here."
I had this cat I brought home, and then I brought it home for my dad. It was a gift. It was his birthday. So, here, Daddy, here's a cat. Right? It's a beautiful Himalayan cat that back in the day people gave animals away. You don't find that now. But so this cat grows up and for some reason had a problem going in the house. And my dad's like, "Cat, if you don't start catching mice, you're out of here." He's like having this like talk with this cat. The very next morning, the cat is on his chest with a mouse in his mouth.
Here you go.
Here
Fish.
you go. And then later has two kittens under the bed.
Heather's saying that she got her dad a cat. It needed a home, and he was the trouble cat in the neighborhood, but they helped him get fixed. And the cat adopted her parents, and they named him RT. That's cute.
Oh.
That is cute. My boys, we don't have cats in the house because hubby is highly allergic to them, and I'm an asthmatic. And so we did not have cats in the early part of our marriage. And one day the boys brought home a cat. And my mother was visiting us. And we let the cat in the house all day. We didn't know what we were going to do when Daddy came home, how we were going to keep this cat, because the kids just loved him. And it was one of those times like where you go to the store and somebody's got a box of kittens and you just grab a cat and you bring it home. And so we had this cat, and she didn't even tell me she was going to do this, but the minute that my husband walked in, he said, "What is that?" And she said, "Oh, it's your new cat." And she named it after her father that had just passed away. So she named it after the kid's great grandpa.
Yeah.
And my
Mm.
dad loved my grandpa. And
Mm-hmm.
it's like, how can you tell the kids now you can't keep Russell? Russell's got to
Mm.
stay. So we kept Russell.
That's
And
a cute
then,
name for a cat.
yeah, and then we got Gertrude, which was my grandmother's name.
Mm-hmm.
So we had Russell and Gertrude, and he couldn't say no. So if you ever have issues keeping an animal, you just name it after a relative that was
Yeah.
beloved and has since passed on, and then they can't make you take it away.
Although we're very Dutch. Our family was born in Holland, and that's what you do when somebody dies is you honor them by naming another relative or
Mm-hmm.
somebody else in the family the same name. So I don't know how they'd feel if it was a cat. So yeah.
The blue pixie, she says her cat is a rescue.
Mm.
And Heather's family's always had cats since she was 2. I'm a cat person. I love to just love on cats, but I love dogs too. I let my dogs hear that. I love the dogs, but I've always been a cat person because my grandpa was a cat person. My mom was a cat person. So now we've got this
Mm-hmm.
cat that's been dumped off, and she waits. She's not warmed up to me, but she waits
Mm.
every night for Jim to come home. She meets him at the workshop,
That's
and
funny.
he loves on her just a little bit, and he started feeding her, and she's not feral by any means. So I know
Mm.
somebody dumped her off out here, and now she's his shop kitty. So he put some feed in the shop for her, and she's got a little burrow in the middle of the haystacks,
Mm-hmm.
and she sleeps in there. And I got her a crock pot so she can have water that's not going to freeze because it's been cold. It's been
Yeah,
really
I've
cold here.
heard.
Yeah, we lost our
I've
power the
heard.
other night when the wind chill was negative 35 below.
Oh.
We lost power and didn't have heat. And
Mm.
Papa Jim is still teasing me because we were in bed and I'm kind of bundled up. And it's like my elbows are cold. He says, "Your elbows are cold." My elbows were freezing.
I
He
could
says,
just see him coming with those little warmers that you stuff in your gloves. Here, honey, for your elbows.
"Tape them on your elbows." I mean, truth be told, my nose was cold, my cheeks were cold, but my
Mm-hmm.
elbows ached. They were so cold, even though I was under the blankets.
Yeah, funny.
So Stephanie says 2 cats just showed up on your porch. I had 2 dogs do the same thing. Yeah, they pick us sometimes, I think. I
Mm-hmm.
think they pick us. So,
Yeah.
well, like guys, I think we're gonna leave it at that. My eyes and headache are not getting any better. Look, they just look like little
I
slits.
know. I'm all puffy from the medicine that I'm on for.
And you need your rest, and it's getting
Yeah.
late. It's already 11 o'clock. But I appreciate you
Yeah.
so much for coming up for a quickie. I'm so
Yeah.
glad that you're feeling well enough. And I thank everybody in the chat for coming over for the love raid and spending a little bit of time with us. I
Yeah.
really,
Thank you
really do
guys.
appreciate it. So I hope you have a great evening and a great week, Laura. I look forward to getting caught up on your videos and seeing everything that you do. And
Yay.
I hope you come up on one of my lives again sometime soon.
Yep.
All righty. Well,
All
thank you
right.
so much and good
Thank
night.
you. Thank you for
Okay.
having me, and I appreciate it so much. All
My
right.
pleasure. I'm glad you
All
were
right.
here. Okay, bye-bye.
Bye.
All right, guys. Well, that's it for tonight. I thank Laura so much for coming up. Look at, you can see the mess behind me. Let me give you something better to look at, like my mad cow. There, now you can look at my mad cow. Thank you so much for joining me. I really appreciate the love raid, guys. I'm going to be happy about that for a couple days. Papa Jim's going to wake up in the morning. He's going to ask how this went tonight. I'm going to say, I got a love raid. I got a love raid. You know, I'm a simple girl. It doesn't take much to make me happy. So take care, everybody. Goodbye. Thank you so much for popping in. Please make sure you hit the thumbs up. If you're not subscribed to my channel already, please hit the subscribe, hit the notifications. I've got some great videos coming up this week. And show up on Saturday when Papa Jim stuffs my muffin. If you don't know what that is, you're going to want to find out. All right? We will talk to you soon. Bye-bye.